Good evening, cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And welcome to Technology Hell. Welcome to our weekly review discussion of Agatha All Along. If you've been around for one of our other reviews, we've done Doctor Who and all the Marvel shows, all the Star Wars shows. We even did The Stand, which went over swimmingly. We have been waiting for this series. A little bit of information from us as we sit right now. In our July was a hot dumpster fire of a mess, and now we're in mid-September and still dealing with July. Our sound is not at our highest quality because my computer died and I've been slowly rebuilding it, and it's still not quite to this level that we want it to be. So we'll keep this one short, even though it's 2 episodes. I don't think there's a ton that we need to go in depth with, which is what we normally do around here.
It's true.
Fair enough. Okay, so I wrote down the titles of the episodes, and I'm going to have you read them out because I
Oh, good.
Okay. Episode 1 was...
Seekest Thou the Road?
And episode 2 was...
Circle Sown... There's no space. Sown with Fate / Unlock the Hidden Gate.
Right.
Which I have a feeling that we are going to complete the song, or at least the first verse of the song in the titles by the time we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. They keep hinting at the song in other parts of the show, so like the closing credits and stuff like that. The closing credits could be an episode on itself. What we do around here is we talk about themes and like the deeper meanings of things, except we're dealing with witches. So there's going to be a lot of deeper meanings on how women have been treated throughout life, which is history for how people have dealt with women who had more than 4 brain cells in their head.
I think it's fair to say not just women.
Fair.
Because we don't know his name. We don't know where he came from, but Joe Locke, his character, is gay. He showed a picture of his significant other, he called.
He called on the phone.
So his picture popped up, and he said he worries about me. And Agatha has called him everything. She's called him her pet, her familiar. To be fair, she doesn't know what his name is, but she could just give him a name. She could just say, "I'm going to call you Bob." So there's also a little bit of that going on in there too.
Yeah. They're hiding who he is. Now everybody on the internet has been saying he's Wicked. Wicked was Wanda and Vision's son, who was the one who was like the intuitive one from WandaVision. In the comic, he has Wanda's powers. It's not Wicked Speed. It's not Speed. He has Quicksilver's power and stuff like that. I don't think so, but that's what everybody has been saying. With the trailers.
So in the first episode, when Agatha is Agnes, before she gets released, she goes into a boys' room, and I'm just now trying to remember what the name...
Nicholas Scratch?
Nicholas Scratch. It was her son who had died because the room was all left perfectly.
Yeah.
And then this young man shows up in her life.
Right.
Now, I thought, because Senior Scratchy,
who makes an appearance, by the way.
Yeah, her rabbit, her familiar, I guess. I kind of thought that's who it was, but maybe there's something else going on there.
Right. This was a very interesting kind of setup of 2 episodes because they had to get her out of the hex. the individual hex, not the hex of Westview.
Right.
Her personal hex.
Right, because Westview's still in a hex. Everybody still is.
Well, or playing the part.
They're still living there. Whether maybe they can all leave, we don't.
They didn't really talk about that. They really did the mayor of Easttown kind of opening where she was a detective and all this stuff, and then all the people in the town kind of played along, or like were playing characters from the show. And as we went along more and more and more, we realized, especially after Agatha gets out of the hex, her own personal hex, that everybody is just regular Westview people who are playing along with her story for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, they made it sound like
Herb.
Is it Herb?
Herb was the guy who lived next door.
Okay,
Was doing
Herb.
Yeah.
It was not even close. Made it sound like it was recent.
Yeah.
That she had started to kind of go into her own TV show.
Right.
So yeah, that's all.
The joke was I've seen we got into the crime drama part, or the crime drama. How did he word it? Or phase. We've gotten a crime drama phase, which was just funny.
Oh yeah. I remember him saying that when she ran out naked. Let's just take a moment for Catherine
Hahn.
Catherine Hahn's workout routine.
Yeah, right. good on her.
Or she had a butt double.
No shame. That's also fine. Good on Disney too to play that joke. To let them play that joke of her just running around on the regular streets with no clothes on.
And he's like, "You're naked."
Yeah. He handled it so well. He's just like, "You're naked," and they like had a full-on conversation with the naked girl next to the hedge. The first episode was getting her out of the hex, introducing the Earth Witch, the Green Witch of Aubrey Plaza, and that.
No, she is not the Earth Witch.
Well, she's the one with the black heart. She was she has a black heart.
The Earth Witch is the Black Heart. The lady who was out, I don't know what her character's name is. Sharon.
Sharon, yeah.
It was something Heart, and she was out gardening.
Yeah.
And so she's the Green Witch, and
or playing the part of the Green Witch.
Yeah, I don't think Aubrey Plaza is the Green Witch.
No. They were saying in the trailer breakdowns and stuff like that, they were thinking that she was going to play the Green Witch, but she is a rival to Agatha from her past, and kind of pushes her to break out of the hex that she's in, and that all goes down in the morgue, and Agatha rips her clothes off and does all the iconic costumes that she wore throughout WandaVision, and breaks out, and that's how we get to the naked version of stripped everything. But Aubrey Plaza is definitely the arch rival for Agatha.
Yeah, and so I mean, I wonder if Aubrey Plaza's character doesn't have an ulterior motive to get Agatha to walk the road, like, she's the Jack in the Box in the very last house that they come to or whatever, or she's got to steal her. I mean, she's obviously got powers, but she's got to steal her powers or something from her to get out, or something like that. That there was, because she riled her all up. She broke her out of the hex and then riled her all up, and then we haven't seen her since.
Right. She is on the road in one of the trailers.
Yeah, but I mean, so far,
we always seen her there.
She was antagonizing her while she was still in her hex.
Yeah.
She broke out of her hex, and then she came and antagonized her even more.
Yeah.
You don't have powers. I can beat you up. Ha ha ha. And then Agatha decides she's gonna take the road
to get her powers back.
Powers back, and we haven't seen her since.
Yeah.
So
Agatha's this episode 2 is her getting her coven. So she's got a fortune seeker, a seer, potions, the Hot Topic one. She can see intent.
Yeah.
Like if she was a police officer, then she did something. And then they go and get Sharon Hard. We'll get everybody's name eventually when I'm not done with computers. To be the Earth Witch, which was really funny, that whole scene, because she was gardening. She had her flower shirt on. She had her gardening gloves on.
She had a little
flower and a hat. So that whole episode is just about introducing the rest of the witches and getting the coven together. And they open the gate by singing the ballad of the Witch's Road, which was written by one half of the duo who wrote all the songs for WandaVision. If you watch WandaVision, all the music in that show was amazing, but all the songs that were written, all the intro music was written by a couple, and they won an Emmy for it. I think that's what happened. Emmy, Grammy. Might have been both, actually, because
sure.
Yeah, but like you were saying, each episode title might be the first verse of them walking down the road. And if you listen to the song, it's about the trials and tribulations of walking down the Witch's Road. And that's I find it interesting what they're doing, what they did with these first 2 episodes. We've set them on their quest. We got Agatha out of the hex. We've set them on the road. They're on their quest. They're all on their quest for their own personal gains. Each member of the coven, including Bill. We're going to call him Bill until
he who shall not be named.
Yeah, he is not Voldemort.
You don't know.
Maybe. But the idea of getting these 2 episodes done, putting them together, and now we're on the road. Some people might butt up against that. I've seen a couple of reviews that people liked the first 2 episodes, but they didn't feel like there was anything really there for storytelling wise. I don't happen to agree with that. I think you have to do this part.
You've got to bridge the gap between WandaVision and Agatha All Along and answer the questions. How did Agatha get out? I honestly, these two episodes gave me way more questions than I had to begin with.
Right.
Like, who is the body? Because the body is just gone. Like, as soon as she breaks out of her murder detective show, whatever, the body is just gone. So was that all just a figment of her little drama that she was playing in her head, and it seemed like it was Wanda because Wanda was on her mind? Or is that gonna, do we have that later? Who is Bill? The 6 went to 5. I don't know what they are.
Oh, the Salem 7?
Is that what they are?
Yeah, they called them the Salem 7.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming those are her coven that she killed.
That's where I was gonna. That's exactly where I think it is. Like they, she had till sundown to get her coven and get on the road, and then the 7 showed up. The Nazgul showed up.
Yeah.
And Bill, the jump scare of Bill, sitting on the couch and then coming through the window at him. I really appreciate that they this has been we didn't get a ton of Marvel this year, and we're not going to get a ton of Marvel next year, and so this was one of the things that they put their hat on. They have that whole buddy cop thing that happened this summer too, and so you have this, and we really don't have anything till next spring. So there's something here, that there's a story that they want to tell, that's highly important to the overall story of Marvel, and introducing having this 2 episode arc of putting them on their quest to go. I'm ready for more episodes. When the first episode got done, Disney Plus said, "Do you want to watch the episode right now?" And then when episode 2 got done, there was no, "Do you want to watch the episode 3?" And I'm like, yes. There's no episode 3 to watch, but yes.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be like how we reacted to WandaVision, where we are going to really like each individual episode for what it is, but when we sit down and binge it all when it's all done and rewatch the whole thing, we're going to be like, this is a way better overall story, and we love it because it's a 7-hour movie instead of a 7-episode week by week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I felt that way about WandaVision, and I don't know that I'm going to feel that way about this, because I feel like each episode is its own standalone thing, good on its own, and then you put the whole thing together, and that's good as well, because then you get the whole underlying story.
Yeah.
The answers, to what's going on that kind of doesn't make sense necessarily at the time when you're watching that individual episode. But they're still good. WandaVision was good member berries for all those shows that it was. And I feel like this is going to be the same sort of, just from the trailers, that I feel like each episode after this is going to be a different kind of themed house at the end of the road that you've got to overcome. They had a slumber party and like some kind of disco thing going on, and so
Exorcist and
each one will be different that way. I think the second episode was the only one that technically didn't have a theme. It felt a little Wizard of Oz-y, maybe just because the road, but she had her hair braided down in the front, and she was kind of going around and collecting the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and all of that. So
Eric's gonna love that.
Yeah.
Eric from New Rockstars thinks everything is trying to be Wizard of Oz or Citizen Kane, and he has this theory about Wizard of Oz, deep in the weeds Wizard of Oz. And as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, it was the Wizard of Oz episode.
Because she even called Bill my familiar Toto.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So that second episode was definitely Wizard of Oz.
Let's talk about a couple of fun Easter eggs that I think will ultimately be something. They made a point of showing the dead woman in the woods body, but not her face or her hair.
No, they did show her hair.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
So when she was in the forest, but she had dark fingertips and dirty feet. But when she was in the morgue, as Agnes was remembering that she was Agatha, she started saying this and this and this and red hair, and the red hair was hanging out. Scarlet hair. They dropped Scarlet Witch's name in episode 2 while they were kind of figuring out their stuff. There was in the post-credit scene, there's a Google search. If you put in, the first thing that they put in is witches and RO, and then the first reaction on Google or whatever is the Ballad of the Witch's Road song. They show a pentagram on the floor, and then it fades into a giant pentagram on a map of Old Westview. So I think that's going to end up being something. Each of the different members of the coven have a primary color,
right?
Which I thought was very very subtle, but on point, and everything.
Yeah. The house
next door from Agnes's is Wanda and Vision's house, but it's still just the frame. It's the footers.
It's the pad.
Yeah.
But then somebody had spray painted
Evil Witch
on it, and then You said something about
her Scarlet Witch's crown that she wears, the horned crown, was painted on the footer and then crossed out with a big black cross.
They know that she's dead, I guess.
Right. There was another thing that they talked about with the body, that it had been crushed or impacted by something extremely heavy. And so again, like a building or a rock. Aubrey Plaza's Blackheart, which talked about all the copies of the Darkhold have been burned or destroyed, including the stone ones. So they can't. So we as the audience are like, oh, they just can't go yada yada a different Darkhold from a different dimension,
right,
or go to Madripoor. I don't remember what it's called. So like all these little hints and things are floating around in my head that I have questions about. Let's talk about just real quick about the idea of what they are trying to accomplish with this show. I am a big believer in wild speculation, but allowing myself to release that wild speculation and engage in the story that's being told. My wild speculation, 100% not going to happen, is this show is the way that brings Scarlet Witch back to 616. Because the 616 here is dead.
Right.
Or so we think. She was crushed by a mountain, but there was a bright, frosty, flashy red thing.
Right. She could have shot her way up into the air.
Yeah. But I think that this show, we have to get Agatha to a certain power level to do some master spell that's going to open a gateway, that's going to bring Scarlet Witch back to the 616. And that means a ton of different things for Secret Wars down the road. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. That's what I believe is going to happen. I have a inkling of what's going to happen, but I can be wrong and have fun with the show anyways.
Okay.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Okay. We will be doing week-to-week breakdowns and discussions about the show. Once I get the sound fixed, it'll be much better, I swear. And so what we ask from you guys, if you're on the Spotify feed, please follow us there. If you're on the YouTube side, please like and subscribe to this channel, like the video, leave us a comment about how bad the sound is. I'm totally okay with that. But hit the bell for notifications so when we do start uploading things with much better sound and a deeper conversation, you'll be able to get it. We do movie reviews and trailer reactions when we actually have trailers, and so all that kind of fun stuff. And so every little thing that you do that helps us out a ton. So, and all the links to our social medias in the comments down below. Until next time, cult members, I swear it'll be better. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night now.